No intro. Trustworthiness, okay? That's what we're talking about this week. So how to be trustworthy as a store, as a customer, and as a collector, okay? Our words matter, right? Our relationships we build with others is really what our entire business is built off of, and the entire way a store will work with you as a customer, right? So a common principle I follow to build trustworthiness or build friendships is create win-win scenarios, okay? If every time we interact, you feel like you had a victory and I feel like I had a victory, we're going to want to interact with each other more, right? If you feel like you had a loss and I feel like I had a loss, we're probably not going to interact with each other. We'll both avoid each other. If you feel like you had a win and I feel like I had a loss, you may enjoy that, but then I'll feel like maybe I'm getting taken advantage of, or I'll start building resentment. And every once in a while, that's fine. I'll purposely do that at times. Okay, hey, you know what? I want to go out of my way for this person and do something for them. It costs me, but it's good for them. That's fine. But if you do that too much, you'll start building a resentment. I used to do that as a kid. My mom, she quit buying me Christmas presents because I'd go to school and give away all my toys, right? So over time, I started looking at it and be like, man, why is these kids aren't like reciprocating, right? And I started feeling like left out and angry. And I was like, well, I'm doing all this. So it's like, well, one, they never asked for those things. It can be imposing to constantly give to somebody. But because I was giving so much, I was doing it freely. Well, over time, it built up into resentment. So that's why it's important for yourself not to overly give, right? Especially if it's not reciprocated. But as a business, we want to create win-wins, right? And luckily for us and for you other store owners watching, we have a very easy roadmap to follow, and that is MSRP to wholesale, right? That is the value Pokemon's created to kind of tell you as a store owner, hey, if you sell between here, your customers don't feel like they got the value. The lower you go for MSRP, probably the happier the customer will feel like they got value, or the happier they will be. The more you go above it, the less happy they will be. So that MSRP line is kind of like the middle ground for both people, right? As a store owner, the lower I sell from MSRP, the less happy I will be. The higher I sell above MSRP, the happier I will be. And same thing for the customer. The customer wants that puppy to go all the way down to zero, okay? They would be thrilled, okay? But we have to balance that, right? There's times where it will drop even below wholesale, and that makes the customer happy, but makes the store unhappy. That makes stores hop out. There's less stores, less supply. Now you get less money, right? Now it won't be as cheap. Prices go back up, right? So the sweet spot is at MSRP for both parties in Pokemon, right? Now it's not always there. It's constantly moving, right? So we kind of have a preset guideline of value for products there. Doesn't mean you have to sell MSRP. It just means be careful. As higher you go away from that, the less value the customer will feel like they receive. Okay, even if it's a hot set like Prismatic Evolutions, the higher it goes, the more resentment they will have. Okay, the lower it goes, the happier they'll be, the more resentment you will have. Find that middle ground. Okay, so that's already like preset for us. But there's other ways to do that. You can have a higher price, but include value with maybe a service, right? Additional items in it. Who is it? Beckett Castle. Beckett Castle does a lot of bundle deals, so they can move product, and that makes customers happy. It makes them happy. Okay, win-win situation. So that's a pretty easy one for us. But let's look at a little bit more difficult ones on how to build trustworthiness. So one, something that's going on right now, which I love. We're doing it ourselves, which is putting out news blasts or social media saying, hey, we are going to have Journey Together at MSRP or below. We will notify you when we do. Amazing, right? I love it. I'm doing it. Most people are. PokemonTradingCardGame did a big video on that, and I think everyone's copying it, okay? He uses Wix. I use his Wix, so it's real cool because most of the stuff he talks about I can just copy over to mine. So what does that have to do with trustworthiness? If you promise to let those people know when Journey Together is available, you better do it. Okay? Don't just be getting their info so that you can sell to them later. Okay? I mean, non-Journey Together products. When you go to put Journey Together up, they should be able to see it first, right? Not just selling to your normal people and selling out, and now you have their info to email them. Okay? Yes, that may be why you did it, and It may be obvious. However, that's not what the customer signed up for. The customer signed up for to be notified about Journey Together. So if you know you're going to be out before you even send those emails out, well, your trustworthiness just went boop and dipped. Okay? So make sure you're sending that out to them early. Okay? If you're promising a customer who contacts you, hey, we will have pre-orders, I'll get you one. Keep your word. Write their name down on a list. Contact them ahead of time and ensure they get one, right? You can set like 2-3 day window or 1 day window for them to respond to you, but make sure you fulfill your word on that, right? Because over time, if you don't fulfill your word, what can they believe, right? I'm currently dealing with that right now, not with the card shop, but with a jiu-jitsu shipment. We have like a 10 grand order of a shipment tied up, and we were supposed to have it shipped out to us on like January 7th. I contacted them and said, hey, do you have that tracking? And they're like, oh, we'll have it to you by the end of the night. Cool. End of the night comes. No tracking. Next day, I'm like, hey, I didn't get that tracking. Can you send that over? Oh, so sorry. We'll have that to you by the end of tomorrow or the end of the week, which it was already Thursday, so that'd been Friday or Saturday, right? No tracking. I contacted Monday. Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll have it to you by the end of the night. I'm sure you see where this story's going. That's happened for 30 days. It is currently February, 9th? 10th? Is it the 14th? Oh, God. I forgot Valentine's Day. All right, we're going to have to make this video short. But it's like February 10th or something like that. And I still don't have the tracking. They've done that for over 30 days, constantly telling me, I have it to you by tomorrow, I have it to you by tomorrow. I called them last week, and they were kind of shocked why I wouldn't believe them, right? I was like, hey, this is becoming an issue. I got customers who are getting angry at me. They don't care what you do. They're blaming me for it. So I either need proof of shipment, because they sent me an invoice typed up on a spreadsheet that said shipped. I'm like, that doesn't prove to me shipped. I need a tracking. So then they sent me a tracking with nothing ever picked up. That's set for 2 weeks, right? And then I contact them. They're like, oh, no. I get it. My word is my bond. If I say, I'm like, but you've lied to me for 30 days. Like, you keep telling me, I get it's not your fault because you're saying that's what they're telling you. But that is on you, right? You're telling me one thing. If you don't know, don't tell me, right? Say, I'm not sure. They haven't told me exactly when. When I find out an exact date, I will. Okay? Because then I can believe you. Okay, I get it. You don't know, I don't know. But if you're telling me tomorrow, and that happens 30 times, right? I can't believe anything you say anymore. So I told them, hey, like, I mean, either I need it by the end of the week, that was this week, or we need to discuss a refund. And then they called me swearing up and down, I promise, just give us next week. I'm like, okay, you have till next week. A day goes by and I see the shipping label has been canceled. I sent them a picture of it. Hey, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, it was just, they had to make a new one. I'm like, wait, you told me it was in customs. If it was in customs, they wouldn't be changing shipping labels. So, no idea where it's at. They have basically until Friday to ship it, or we're basically either they're going to refund us or we're going to have to call a bank. But because there was no trustworthiness, if I could believe their word, right? Because they've told me everything truthful up until now. They said, hey, it'll be a month from now. Our apologies. I'd go, cool, I believe you. Right? But the issue is there's no certainty right now. I don't know if I'm going to get these in that people have been waiting for 2 months. Because if they don't, and it never comes, well, I got to make another order with another business, and it takes 2 months to prep. So I can't wait, right? But if I know it's going to be here in a month, I know for sure, I can wait because that trust is there, right? Same thing with a customer. If something happens and they can trust you, they don't mind waiting, right? They understand life happens. But you got to build that reputation where if you say you're going to do something, do it, right? Your word is the only thing they can count upon. If your word's constantly tricking them or lying to them, right, they can't believe you. Tricking is key here too, because even if you fulfill your promise, but it's done in a non-honest way, people can pick up on that. People think they lie really well. You don't. You're not a good liar. No one is, right? Most people can pick up on it, even if they don't say anything. There's a feeling of, hey, this person's being dishonest. I don't know what it is. I don't want to interact with them, okay? So something I used to see is you'll see some sellers on TCG Player. They'll sell a card before release, right, to get that higher price, but they don't actually have the card. And then it takes like 2-3 weeks to get the card, right? Because they're waiting for the price to drop and buy it from someone else and have them ship it to you. Even though you got the card on time, you feel kind of like taken advantage of, right? Something just feels wrong about it, even though you got the card. It's like, well, yeah, you did, but you also were like dishonest with me. You didn't fulfill it on time. You kept telling me things were delayed, but that wasn't the truth. It was you were waiting for the card price to drop. So, as a store owner, if you make a promise, keep it, right? Even if it costs you something, right? Customers will see that. Okay, hey, it got delayed 3 weeks, but look, they sent an extra pack. That cost them more money than if they would have just refunded me, right? They saw it, you went out of your way to create a better win for them, right? So now that trustworthiness actually goes up versus going down. So mistakes happen. Customers are receptive to that. Just make sure you make up for it, because then they will see your word is true. As a collector or a customer, make sure you're accurate with your issues to your stores, okay? One thing that I've ran into as a store owner is, I'm sure we've all done this in real life too. We'll take a anthill and turn it into a molehill, right? We'll be like, all right, this box is dented. There's a little puncture. Man, I'm not happy. I really don't want to pay for this. Let me contact the store. You sent me a completely destroyed box. There was no packaging. It was ripped apart. The packs are damaged. It was resealed. And you make up this huge story, right? As a store owner, I'm looking at that and going, I feel like you're lying or you're trying to scam me, right? Because I got to protect myself as well. Because I know, it's like, okay, no, I know for a fact there's packaging in there. So you tell me there was no packaging, there's packaging, right? So I already know your word is not trustworthy. Where if you had just told me, hey, I ordered a booster box, there's a tear in it, I was going for my sealed collection, would you exchange this for me? I'd go, cool, yeah, not a problem. Send it my way, send it to me. In the future, just let me know you want one for sealed, and I'll double inspect and make sure, right? So, as a customer, make sure you don't blow up situations and tell them exactly what you want. You're more likely to get what you want in life if you just say what it is, okay? Make an order, send a message, hey, make sure there's no holes, make sure the package looks good because this is going for my sealed, okay? Can you add extra bubble wrap, right? Those things you ask me, I will understand, right? And then if there's a mistake, it's like, they did ask for that, I didn't protect it good enough. Yeah, you know what, they're right, let me fix it, okay? So as a customer, make sure you're accurate with your language as well. I am more likely as a store to go above and beyond to fix issues if what you're saying sounds true to me, okay? So that's how we can be trustworthy in Pokemon, right? As a store, keep your word, right? Go out of your way for your customer and show them that you're trying to keep your word. Customers, what you say, make sure you're accurate with it, okay? When you're accurate and I can connect it to what I'm doing, and I know the evidence because you're telling me exactly what's true, I know to believe you. Where even if, it might have been damaged, but you exaggerate, I'm looking at that like, okay, is it really, or are they trying to take advantage of me, right? Are they asking for a discount on the price because it's actually damaged, or because they just wanted it for a lower price, right? So keep your word, be honest, stay true to exactly to the facts, right? Don't exaggerate. So other than that, guys, I'm Elias from Boba Cards, so be sure to shop bobacards.com. We'll have Journey Together popping up probably in a few weeks. We had some allocation numbers come in, but not the total, so I would like to post the ancillary product with the main stuff, but our numbers are actually looking pretty good. We got most of what we ordered, which was shocking because of the stories I've heard, but I also don't order like a quintillion of stuff too, so that's probably it as well. So other than that, guys, check out bobacards.com and we'll see you next time.